And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second broadcast of the night. We just wrapped up with the Masters Coliseum 8 Korean qualifier, and now we are jumping right into the 2024 Cheeseadelphia Grand Finals group stage. I'm, of course, Show's Live VIP, and with me, I'm joined by these amazing players, the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to an offline LAN event in Philadelphia, in the Americas family. Let's go. We rarely get LAN events nowadays. We just had Home Story Cup, and now we have Cheeseadelphia. Let's go. We're diving into our first series. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the American Protoss player, the blue Protoss. It is Chelseafan. He's a fan of Chelsea. Is it the team or someone else? Who knows? And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the American Terran, the ex-Cranky Duckling himself. Let's go. Oh my god, it looks like we have a bit of a pause. Might have a hotkey issue. As a reminder, it is a LAN event, and our players have to set up their peripherals, set up their hotkeys, and there might be a slight issue here as we get into our introductions. We're getting there, Pat. We're getting there. Oh, yep. Speaking of bugs, there we go. We can, of course, yeah, all good. Did you see? Apparently, Chelsea had no audio, and Dolan, his keyboard became unplugged. So, speaking of technical issues that can happen at an offline event, they can pop up from time to time, and we're more than happy to restart the game. It's all good, man. It's all good. As we are just now beginning the group stage. Again, exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is live. The bracket is stacked. We do have some key players here that can, of course, compete and that are going to be favored to have a deeper and deeper run in this tournament. We have, of course, players like Dolan, Future, we have Rob, we have Creature, we have Caleb Aracos. I haven't casted Caleb in years. I want to say that last time I casted Caleb was like 2021 or something. It's been a long time. I miss him, Pappy. I miss him. We have Caleb, we have Holden, we have Zen, we have Jehefe, we have Zesty, we have Starkiller, and many, many others. So again, we have a lot of amazing players looking to rise up and looking to step to the plate here. Oh. And we'll see. We'll see how this tournament unfolds. Again, as a reminder, we have a Swiss group stage. We have a pretty long group stage initially. Then we'll take a break to get some food, to get some rest, allow our players to recover before we jump into the playoff brackets. Oh boy. Initially, for the group stage, we have how many players here? I believe 16? Yeah, 16 players. 16 players for the group stage. And the playoff bracket is going to consist of, I imagine, half of that. I would imagine. I have to double check. For now, though, we are diving into our next game. We're into game one. Are opting to set up here. And again, I'm sure the players just want to make sure that they actually have audio, that they have their sound and everything set up before we jump in. All good. All good. Just catching up the chat. The anticipation. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. Once the game starts, then we'll start predictions. We'll get the predictions going once we jump into the first game. Just making sure that everything is nice and solid here. And again, the first round is going to have these kind of teething issues. Once we get further into the group stage, we will be able to more smoothly embrace these matches and these series. Do not worry. Oh. But yes, of course, Dolan, he was a Cranky Duckling for a very long time. He was one of our own. For those who are maybe tuning in and who are maybe unfamiliar with the Cranky Ducklings here, we do have a pro roster, a pro side of things. We did have players like Vindicta, like Patty Mac, Dolan, Eric, Ryu, Oreo, Startup. We had, an American, Latin American, and Oceanic roster. That was, of course, in years gone by when we could actually afford a roster. Nowadays, less so. And since then, a lot of players have gone to greener pastures, but we always do support them, always big fans of them, always there for our boys, even if they're no longer a duckling, duckling at heart. Always. Once a duckling, always a duckling. And here we go, from the beginning. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have our American Protoss player, the blue Protoss. It is a Chelseafan. And, we do get a misplaced pylon, less than ideal. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the American Terran player, the blue Terran, the ex-Cranky Duckling. It is Dolan. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chats. Coming into this, I'm a little bit biased, but obviously going to be favoring Dolan coming into not just this series, but in the entire tournament. Dolan is the one to beat. Dolan is the one who was the reigning Cheeseadelphia champion, by the way. He's already gotten the big cheese once before. Can he do it again? I want to believe he can, but for now, we're settling in. We're calming things down, we're settling in, and Chelseafan is definitely someone that can threaten Dolan. There's a reason why we dove on this series to begin with, not just because of our ex-Cranky Duckling, but because Chelseafan is a worthwhile opponent. Here. As for now, we are moving out. Do have our initial opener is going to be an economic opener out of Dolan, going for a Rax expand, only one gas geyser. Likewise, Chelseafan going for a gate cyber expand as well. Everything looking normal, everything looking standard so far. Now, when it comes to Dolan's playstyle, he has a very aggressive and very assertive playstyle in TvP. We often see 2-base all-ins, often 2-base play, even 1-base cheese as well, proxies, all-ins. Dolan can be a very frisky player, specifically in this matchup. In other matchups, he's more standard, like TvT, he's much more macro-oriented, for example. Same with TvZ, but against Protoss, he's a little more in the face of the Protoss player. Speaking of being in their face, Bunker. Bunker has been thrown out behind the mineral line. Reapers are on the way. The probes do confirm, though, they do get eyes on the bunker itself, and we do pull the boys to try and deny, try and delay. SCV is going to be zoned back. Chelseafan, he's on this. He will deny the bunker for the time being. Oh, SCV will get a little bit more progression on it, but it looks like it should be denied. Reaper has arrived, but here comes a Stalker. Reaper going for the probes, gets one. Reaper gets one probe kill, gets the hell out of here, does pull away. Bunker is cancelled. Ooh, is that a kill? Was cancelled in the end. And behind this, interesting, we have not just our expansion on the way, but we have extra Raxes as well. Not just 2, 3. It's going to be 3 Rax. This is a little bit old school. We rarely see 3 Raxes nowadays, but it can be still quite potent, I'm sure. I'm a little bit on the fence, though, on the potency of this 3 Rax, specifically on Ultra Low. Now, for those that are curious about what's going on, 3 Raxes. 3 Raxes here get thrown down for Dolan. This is going to be a stim timing. Mass Marine Marauder stim timing from the Terran player. This can hit quite hard, but at the same time as the Reaper dives into the main base and threatens the workers. Guess who gets up? He wants 3. Gets 3 probes, so finally he's going to be shut down, but nice damage nonetheless. But again, this is going to be very strong bio timing. This can hit like a truck. The problem, though, if Chelseafan scouts, if he confirms what's going on, then all it takes is a couple of force fields on this ramp to completely shut it down. You know, the army could try to dive in. We can have a force field. Ooh, a shield battery as well. But it looks like we do have a bit of a pause. And again, you know, that it looks like sound is still not available. It might be like an in-game like software issue. It could even just be maybe a driver issue if he brought his own headset, if he brought in his own earphones. That is sometimes it does happen. Is that you do need like a certain driver sometimes to actually make use of it. Maybe it has something to do with the connection and he has to like reconnect or something. But yeah, hopefully he's able to find a solution here. Playing without sound can be quite difficult. Like, unironically, there's a lot of sound cues, not just when it comes to like being alerted of an attack, but even like knowing when an upgrade finishes, knowing when you get supply blocked. I think was it Sal? Was it Upper Tree Zelda? He had like a really good critique of Stormgate where he was able to go a little bit more in depth as to just how important like audio cues are in a game like StarCraft and how much we like unconsciously rely on that sort of thing. So yeah, something like sound, it's important. It's important. It's crazy. It's important to hear things. Crazy, I know. So hopefully Chelseafan is able to fix those issues. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. As I believe we do have other matches underway. As the group stage is, again, still just beginning. Still upon us. We do take it for granted. We do take it for granted. I love the Sal audio breakdown. Yeah, it was nice. It was really well thought out and really well put together. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate it. So we'll just sort that out. Oh, let's spy on the players. Can we spy on them? Hold on. Let's have a look. Oh, look, they're convening. They're colluding. You can see in the background. They've got their little circle going on. Shouldn't they be playing their matches? But I see Star Killer there in the background. There are definitely some players that I'm not too familiar with, like visually. Like I know Star Killer, I know Dolan, of course, I know Future, but some of the others less so. Oh, as we are jumping back in. There we go. Looks like the audio issues have been since resolved. We can settle into our game. It's going to be a blink here from Chelseafan. But yeah, what I was getting at, referring to the strength and the potency of this 3 ranks that Dolan is going for, will rely a lot as well on Chelseafan scouting and confirming. As for the time being, Chelseafan is in the dark as to what's going on. And I'm a little bit surprised, but Chelseafan has not made a sentry. Like, especially when it comes to the energy overcharge and the changes. There we go. The changes made to Protoss in the new patch. There it is. Energy overcharge on sentry. Hallucination moves out, and Chelseafan should confirm the build of choice. Send it, Matthew. Send it. Hallucination moves out. Back at home, the ranks is well underway. We have Sim, we have Combat Shields, Marauder production well in production as well, well underway for Dolan. And Chelseafan does confirm the 3 ranks. Now, scouting knowing is half the battle. The other half, of course, is going to be the execution of the defense. Ideally, especially with a blink-based opener, Chelseafan wants to be active. He wants to move out with these stalkers, engage the main army ahead of time, force out an early stim, pick off a Marine, 2 Marines, 3 Marines, a Marauder if at all possible. Ideally, you do want to be active here and slow down the push well ahead of time. Otherwise, that's where things get difficult. That's where things can get quite risky here for Chelseafan. This is a really fun response. He responds with a Dark Shrine. Now, because it's very committed on 2 bases, because it's very crisp and very clean, and like typically there's like the build itself is quite tight, the likelihood of Dolan having a skin available is quite low. Like DTs defensively and offensively, especially with that pylon finishing up, can do very well here against A3 racks. Stalkers move out, they run into the army. Oh! Ooh, Blink is a little bit late there, so a bit of miscontrol there from Chelseafan. 1 Stalker goes down, so far not worth it yet, and the Marines, they maintain themselves, and Dolan, he pulls the trigger. He's moving out. He's moving out across the map. Chelseafan, he has to consolidate his army. How many gateways? Ooh, just 2 gateways, so that was 2 gate into a 3rd. A very greedy build here by Chelseafan. But he has those force fields. Has a high ground. He does not have the 3rd, though. The 3rd, it may just go down. Massive pick off here for Dolan. Going for the expansion. Nexus will fall. Instead, we have 3 Zealots warping in across the map. Sorry, 3 Dark Templar warping in across the map. Chelseafan, he's going to be committed here. So he has lost his 3rd. Force fields, they stop the push. They don't cut the army in half. Meanwhile, we have a scout. We have a scan back at home. Shuts down 2 of the Dark Templar. 1 DT does barely escape, but do we have another scan? Not quite yet. Oh, not quite yet. Getting 4, getting 5 SCVs. Dolan, he races back home. DT's wreaking havoc, getting 7 SCVs. Not bad. 7, 8, up to 9. 9 SCV kills. Now, this would be good damage if this was only 1 Dark Templar. Unfortunately, if you remember, it was 3. It was 3 DTs, so each Dark Templar basically got 3 SCVs. That's an okay trade, but ideally Chelseafan did want more. Ideally Chelseafan did want more damage. As Dolan moves out. And still has a terrifying army. Chelseafan just now retaking the 3rd base, but can Chelseafan even hold on to it? Dolan just rotate. You just rotate over, hit the 3rd once again. At the same time, Chelseafan moving out towards the 3rd CC of Dolan. Dolan doesn't turn around. Ben's back at home, catches our Templar, denies the 3rd base. That's all Dolan has to do. Just deny the 3rd over and over again, contain the Protoss on 2 bases, and starve them out. There's the recall from Chelseafan. You can see Chelseafan has got 35 workers at the natural. Like, the drone count, the probe count is actually quite solid for Chelseafan. It's just the base count. Like, the amount of workers you have doesn't matter if you have no bases to mine from. And Chelseafan is mining inefficiently here on 2 bases. Desperately needs that 3rd. And Dolan is just not going to let that happen. Not going to allow Chelseafan to expand. Reinforcements on the way. Dolan setting up a Doom Drop. We'll get eyes on the expansion. We'll collapse in. Dropping into the main. And can even snipe the Dark Shrine, going for the Twilight Council. Ooh, we'll trade with the army instead. Takes down the Zealous. Nice kiting here from Dolan. Meanwhile, that's a kill, not a cancel. Nexus goes down, and Dolan, he will just overwhelm. Scans for the Dark Templar, breaks through the defensive line, and GG gets called. Dolan will take game number 1. GG. Dolan will take a lead in the series. We'll take game 1, and we'll see how Chelsea fights back. Again, when it comes to the build of choice, I mean, I do think that Chelsea was fine when it came to his build overall, going 2-gate blink into a third, into DTs, scouted the aggression, scouted the 3-backs. Unfortunately, wasn't quite able to stop it, wasn't able to slow it down. We spoke about it before, but ideally Chelseafan wanted to be active with a massive amount of stalkers and chip away at the army, was unable to, and yeah, Dolan snowballed from there. Did snowball from there. And with that, Dolan takes a lead. Dolan does take a lead in the series. Now we're getting ready for game number 2. We'll see what map we do spawn into. Whether we load into a larger map or a smaller map. Where we headed? Where are we dropping? Where are we dropping? Likewise, we have plenty of other matches underway as well. We are slowly getting updates. Getting there. Getting there. As a reminder, because we have 16 players, I believe this is... Yeah, we're going to be working through that group stage. We'll try to catch maybe like another series, like another match mid-series or something. But most likely just one at a time. And from my understanding, because it is not round robin, because it's a Swiss format instead, I believe that over the course of the group stage we get less and less matches, if I recall correctly. If I recall. Yeah, 6 rounds. 6 rounds of Swiss. There we go. Just confirming. But it looks like our players, they had to restart their PCs. It's all good. Do hope the other matches are going by without much issue. Hoping so. But yeah, just to confirm, the playoff bracket is going to be quarterfinals. So it looks like we will be determining which 8 players make it through. So we have 16 players and only 8 will advance on. Cutting the player pool in half. Here we go. We have our map here for game 2. It's going to be on ley lines. Ley lines coming up next. The hero DT was doing what he could. Doing what they could. Factory before 3rd CC? Yes, yes. He went 3-backs factory into Starport before 3rd CC. Did occur. Did happen. And here we go. We are embracing game number 2. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the American Protoss player, the blue Protoss, down in the series. We'll see if we can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Chelseafan. Say Chelsea or Kelsey? Spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the American Terran player, the red Terran, leading the series 1-0. It is Dolan. Oh, the danger, Dolan. Let's go. As a reminder, last game Dolan did open up economically, going for a Rax expand with a single gas, and looks like Dolan may be embracing the same here Rax has been placed. And we'll see if he stays without single gas geyser. Meanwhile, does move out with his SCV. Skirting around the edge of the map. Is spotted by the probe. And is going to be chased down. If Dolan wanted to go for an eBay block, well, he's going to be having a bit of a harder time getting it going. eBay gets thrown down. Boys have been pulled. And Chelseafan is all over this. Survivor good response to get the kill. Kills the SCV and will force a cancel as well. So far, just really nice scouting out of Chelseafan. Very nice shutdown as well. Does force some inefficient mining, but this could have been so much worse, and this could have been a bigger and greater delay on the Nexus. So far, so good here from Chelseafan. Back at home. Because of the investment into the eBay, that means that back at home we have to go for a factory. So there is factory before natural, but that's just the natural progression of the build when you go for the eBay. When you go for the engineering bay. So it's going to be Rax into factory into a more delayed CC. And we'll see if Dolan does open up with initially Widow Mines, with a heavier Hellion count. How many Reapers does he invest in? Going Marine first, not Reaper. Interesting. Does open up with a Marine. Looking for any stray pylons, any stray proxies. Confirms there is none. I just realized, true. See in the chat, how appropriate to have a Swiss rounds at an event called Cheeseadelphia. You're not wrong. That was totally planned, right? Beautiful. Really, I mean, we couldn't have it any other way. We couldn't. It was impossible. Had to be the case. Behind this, ooh, okay, so despite going for a Marine opener, is going into Reactor to Hellion Reaper. So a little bit more aggressive here. We'll see if Dolan does go for a 3rd and 4th Hellion as well. We have the answer. The answer is yes. He is committing here into additional Hellion production. CC on the high ground. And as a reminder, when it comes to Hellion aggression, it takes 3 Hellions to one-shot a probe. 3 Hellions here, so we'll see if he does get into a mineral line. Hellions are spotted by the Stalker. Dolan does attempt to chase him down. Oh. Shaves off the shields. Hellion's getting low. Dolan does pull away. Oh. Reinforcing. Hellions are in production. Well, they're moving out here, and it looks like he's going to be able to hunt down the first Stalker. Ooh, does trade. Stalker for a Hellion. Better trade for Dolan. Back at home at Twilight Council opener, we have our tech of choice. Twilight Council into Blink. And how many gateways? 2, 3, or 4 gate Blink. What do you have for us, Chelsea? Oh, we have the answer. But the Hellions, they damage the mineral line. At Chelseafan, he evacuates the natural. Force fields the ramp. He holds. Does hold on. We'll lose 1 probe, but does save the rest in the main. Oh, we do see Dolan. He wants in. Force fields a little bit too late. They bust into the middle. They light up. No! The probes, they light up. And one more volley. They will get roasted. 6 probe kills already. Oh my god, getting 7. 7 workers go down, and Dolan, he gets enough damage, gets out of there, back at home, building up towards his tank follow-up. We have our 2 soon to be 3-1-1. Tanks are on the way. And this was a rough start for Chelseafan. Losing 7 probes. Just now embracing additional gateways. And we'll soon attempt to expand. At this point, after losing all those workers, I wouldn't be opposed to Chelseafan even throwing down an extra gateway and just committing a little bit harder here with Blink Stalkers, but based on the only 3 gates set up here, Chelseafan should be expanding and should be working towards the mid game. Which means Dolan has free reign. Dolan's looking quite secure back at home, getting to his 3 Raxes. eBay's on the way for +1. And Dolan is just getting ready for his eventual move out. Likewise, Dolan being active, trying to get eyes on the would-be 3rd. Up! 2 Hellions go down. I would expect Chelseafan to be an EU player. I mean, again, is he referencing the team or someone else? Who knows? could just be a big fan of someone called Chelsea. It's possible. Hey. We'll find out. We'll get an interview. Kappa. As for now, are settling in to see Dolan harassing the natural. Oh, we'll go for the auto turrets. We'll get a couple of probes. Delay reaction from Chelseafan. That's going to be 2 probes going down. And we're just waiting for those upgrades to kick in. Waiting for Stim, Combat Shields +1. The upgrades are on the way, and eventually Dolan will move out. Just biding his time, still building up. Is going to be quite committed as well, bearing in mind there is still no third TC. Now he can throw one down as he moves out, but it's still going to be quite a dedicated, quite a committed push here from Dolan. And here it comes. Already one Stalker going down. Not the best start for our Protoss. We'll pull away. Back at him is massing out more Zealots. Charge is done. Unfortunately, no upgrades, no +1, no Forge. Can warp in some Archons. Dolan moving out. There's that third TC behind this. But still very dedicated. Dolan, he at least wants to trade well against the army. Ideally wants to break the third. As he's pushing into a wall of Zealots. Tanks are setting up, Widow Mines as well. Stalker's under fire. Here comes a dive. Zealots, they dive in. Mine shots going off. Brutal connections. The Zealots, they melt. The Zealots, they get annihilated. Tanks, they hold their own. And Chelseafan is in trouble. Dolan can snowball from here. Takes down the Zealots. Does focus on the Archon. Barely survives. Now Chelseafan, he's up against the wall. Oh, like this. Double jump towards the natural. Dolan going for a split push. Likewise, you see Chelseafan building on more Zealots. Charge gets baited out. And the next is it's going to go down. Chelseafan has to commit. Mine shot's going off once again. This time we'll clean up all the tanks though. Tanks go down, but GG gets caught as the double jump hits the natural, and Dolan will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Dolan will claim his first series of the group stage. My condolences to Chelseafan, but again, it is still a Swiss format group stage, still plenty more matches to come, and I do think that Dolan is one of the heavier hitters coming into this tournament, so regardless, it would have been a rough start for any player to face off against him. Regardless, do wish him the best, and we'll most likely be casting more of Chelseafan in the coming rounds. GG. GG, well played. With that, we can have a look at the bracket and try to catch up with what has been going on in the group. Let's go. Exclamation mark can be in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. Well, as we do have these updates coming in. Okay, from the top, we have Future. Future takes down Pardesa 2-0. Likewise, Dolan takes down Chelseafan 2-0. We have Jehefe taking down Zesty 2-0. Caleb Baracus taking down Warflag Kai 2-0, and Snarkiller taking down Gloop Glorp 2-0 as well. The players that I'm naming are the favorite players coming into this. Players like Jehefe, Future, Caleb Baracus, Starkiller, Dolan, Starkiller. They're all either GMs, pro players, or ex-pro players. They are the players that we expect to go far in this tournament. But there's still more matches to wrap up here in the first round. We still have a Creature versus Galgatine. We have Creature versus Galgatine. Creature is going to be favored there. Again, Creature, I would say is... who do I rate higher? Creature or Rob? I would say Creature is top 2 Protoss at Cheeseadelphia. Maybe number 1? Hard to say. The thing is that a lot of these players are relatively inactive, so it's hard to gauge their skill. We did cast a lot of Creature coming in towards this weekend. Did cast a lot of Creature. But, yeah, it's hard to say. Regardless, I would say that Creature and Rob, I mean, how you want to place them would be 1 and 2. I guess I would place Chelseafan as number 3 Protoss in the tournament. But they are top 3. Likewise, we have Dolan and Future as the top 2 Terran players in the tournament, followed by Jehefe. I believe Jehefe is Terran, if I remember correctly. I'd have to double check. Un momento. Yeah, he's Terran, right? Yeah. Has my life been a lie? What's... yes, he's an American Terran player. Yeah. I remember. So yeah, I would say Jehefe alongside them, but just underneath Dolan in Future. And when it comes to Zerg representation, that is where Starkiller comes in. Also, oh my god, my apologies. I don't know why. I glossed over Holden, of course. my apologies. Holden, he's in the tournament as well. My eyes were on Robin, Creature, and Chelseafan, but no, Holden is there. Actually, do I rate Holden higher than Robin Creature? Maybe. Like, Holden, he's been on fire, and he has been a lot more active these past couple of years. True. My apologies. Yeah, I can't forget Holden. And when it comes to Zerg representation, that's where Caleb Arakus and Snarkiller come into play. Those are going to be the 2 more notable Zerg players. But my eyes, of course, are going to be on everyone involved, and we'll see who makes it into the following rounds. Shall see. Was that a Rush Hour reference? What did I say? I don't think so. I was not referencing Rush Hour. I don't think I was. No. I see the chat. Maybe they're a fan of Chelsea Cutler. Nah, he's a Chelseafan FC guy, unfortunately. Cap. Unfortunately. Good to hear. I hope you're enjoying yourself, whether you're at the event or not. Thank you for tuning in. And we're still here at the start of the broadcast, the start of the group stage. Still plenty more matches to come, plenty more matches to go. We'll get there. We're just waiting for one of these matches to open up. Once all of round 1 has concluded, then round 2 will be seeded. Do we spy on the players? What's going on? Let's go. Shout to Joe, by the way. Big shout to Joe for organizing and hosting the event. Very passionate StarCraft fan out there in the Americas. Big shout to Joe. Likewise, I can see Starkiller playing his match in the background. For those that are curious, I believe Future is... I saw Future earlier, but I think he moved elsewhere. Who else do we have? I think Dolan is in the back right. I need to see their faces. No. I think that's Dolan. But yeah, shout to the clean feed that we do have available to us. We can spy on the players. Let's go. We just got an update. Creature did take down Galgatine 2-0. Big win there for Creature. And yeah, it looks like we're just waiting for some of these other rounds to wrap up. So we're going to be going on a short break. Looks like we're waiting for Rob versus Stagger Dish, and Holden versus Zen. So we're just waiting for 2 more matches to wrap up. Once they do, we will have round 2 available. Until then, we're going to be going on a short break. Take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, and get ready for a night full of StarCraft. See you soon.